Good morning. Hello, it's Zoe here for our first Healthy Bites with YogaBURN here in my kitchen. Today we are doing a midnight snack edition. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm watching TV at the end of the night, I get a little craving for something, and it can be really challenging to know what's best to have at night. So many of us have heard that we shouldn't be eating after 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. But the truth is a lot of us do end up snacking at night. So instead of us thinking, like, I can't have anything, and then ending up having chips and chocolate and cookies and ice cream and whatever we want, how about being realistic and really thinking about, okay, if I am gonna snack at night, what are the best things that I could have that aren't gonna totally derail me? So today I'm gonna be sharing with you my Healthy Bounty Bar recipe. This is a coconut and chocolate, completely vegan and gluten-free recipe that I love. I make them bite-sized and they are so delicious. Husband approved, my mom loves them, everybody loves them. They're really simple and easy to make. So I'm gonna be sharing those with you today. But I'm also, just before we get going on that, gonna go over one or two of the ideas that I have, and then we'll go ahead and make this recipe together. So you may know that I'm kind of big on morning and nighttime routines. It's something that I find can really make or break our results. Sure, we can have the perfect morning. We can do our workout with amino H2O. We can go ahead and have a great healthy lunch, but then boom, nighttime comes around. We have 3 glasses of wine. We have all kinds of treats. We can totally derail ourselves at night. It's so common. So instead, let's take a look at some healthy options. Now, one of the things that I love is anything that is pre-portioned or packaged out, because it just gives you that little bit of an extra guide. I wish these were packaged singly. There is 4 or 5 in a pack. But these are the gluten-free chocolate honey grams from Char. This is one of my favorite brands. So one thing that I will have at night is one of these little cookies, but I will also make it with a cup of tea. This is peppermint tea, my personal favorite, especially being pregnant right now. The peppermint tea is just really soothing, cooling, helps with the headaches I've been getting. But I mean, everybody can have peppermint tea. So making yourself a big cup of tea and choosing one sweet treat that you're gonna have, it's one cookie, something like that, is so much better than just completely depriving yourself for 5 days and then scarfing down a whole box of cookies on a Friday night, right? Instead, let's try and have a little bit more portion control, and then we can have a little treat every night, right? So that is one of my ideas. Another idea that I'm gonna share with you, let me move this a little bit closer, is making like a pretty water. I would normally put ice in this as well, but I've just popped in some basil, some cucumber. This is gonna be so delicious in the summer. And I'm adding my San Pellegrino. You could really do whatever sparkling water you like. The bubblies can be really good. La Croix. But making a pretty water like this, jazzing it up with some fruit. I've popped in some raspberries, some cucumbers, some basil, or you could do mint. So good. And this is surprisingly filling. The carbonation takes up space in your belly, those bubbles, and makes you feel more full. So instead of having something like pop or a milkshake or something like that, having something like this that is calorie-free but tastes delicious and has that carbonation is gonna help to fill you up. Again, another great choice. Now, let's go ahead and get into this recipe, because we are gonna do a little bonus recipe as well with some berries. So here's what we're gonna need. I've got probably about 3/4 cups of chocolate chips. I like to use vegan chocolate chips that are dairy-free. This is a great organic brand, Camino, but fair trade, organic chocolate, but you could use whatever chocolate chips you have on hand. I'm gonna pop this in the microwave and we're gonna melt it. And you wanna make sure that you're melting it in 20-second intervals, okay? Let me close my tea drawer here. So we're gonna melt that chocolate in 20-second intervals and be stirring it as we go, which is perfect. You could also do a double boiler if you wanted to, but I find that a little bit more intensive. While the chocolate is melting, let's go through what else we need. We need a cup of unsweetened, finely shredded coconut flakes. Da-da-da. We're also gonna use a 1/4 cup of coconut oil, and this we are gonna melt as well, so we might as well pop this in with our chocolate. I do need, here's my spoon. Let's give this chocolate a little stir and pop our coconut in there. Not our coconut, yeah, our coconut oil in there too. Now, the reason why you have to melt the chocolate slowly is that chocolate burns really easy. So if you are finding that that's happening, you're doing it in too big of sections. So give your chocolate a good stir. Try not to lick the spoon. And let's pop that back in there for 22 seconds. And the coconut oil is gonna melt as well. And I see some of you asking, what did I put in that water? I put sliced English cucumber, basil leaves, and a couple raspberries. But you could use basil, mint, rosemary, really any fresh herb that you like. I do find the ones with bigger leaves like mint and basil are better than like parsley or cilantro. Let's check on this. I wanted to do this actually live with you. This is getting a bit hot, but we can see the chocolate is melting. And like I said, we're gonna do a little bonus treat with this as well, with this melted chocolate that I think you're gonna love. Working away, working away. Somebody's asking what you can use to replace coconut. I don't know. This is a pretty big coconut recipe, so if you don't like coconut, this probably isn't the one for you, but I'm gonna show you how you can make chocolate covered raspberries and strawberries, so I would maybe stick to something like that. That melted chocolate, especially when you've got a good quality, organic, vegan, beautiful chocolate, you could even just measure out like 3 tablespoons of chocolate chips, melt them, and then dunk some apples, some banana, some berries in that chocolate, and that could be a great midnight snack as well. Let's see how we're doing. I think we need about 1 more time, and then we'll be ready. So let's do 1 more 22 seconds, and we'll be ready to go. Yum. Now, in the chocolate, I did have 1 little teeny piece of coconut oil. And that coconut oil is just gonna make it luxurious and shiny. It's not 100% needed, but it does make it just look a little bit more glossy when you're gonna set it on your homemade Bounty bars or whatever you're gonna be putting that chocolate on. Okay, our chocolate's done. Let me pop this over here. And let's just pop in this coconut oil. Come with me. And now what we are gonna do is, in a food processor or a blender, we are gonna pop in our shredded coconut, making sure we're getting all of that in there. We're also going to use about a 1/4 cup of coconut milk. Now, the milk and the water tends to separate in a canned coconut milk, So I shake it up first, give it a little stir, and then we're gonna use a little less than a 1/4 cup of that beautiful coconut milk in there. Let's start with that. I'm gonna grab my coconut oil and pop my coconut oil in the food processor or blender. Last time I made this, I used a blender, so you can definitely use that. Little bit of sea salt. This is Himalayan pink sea salt, for that sweet and salty. I just put a sprinkle in there. You guys can probably tell it's pretty hard for me to actually measure. And then we're just gonna pulse this. not for long. Good. And take this out. Now, usually I would do about 2 cups, but I was low on coconut today, unfortunately. Now, what we are gonna do, I'm just gonna make a few of these so that you can see, is we are going to make little mounds of coconut. And these little mounds are gonna get popped right into the fridge, okay? So, we're gonna grab a little bit of your coconut mixture, press it into this kind of shape, okay? So that's about like 2 or 3 bites. Now I'm just gonna make 4 of these so that you can see what they look like. But you would do this with your entire batch of coconut. And what's so great about coconut is that it has some really good healthy fats in there, especially if you get the unsweetened kind. It also isn't like super sugar filled or anything like that. And then, I mean, we've got a good quality chocolate chip as well. There's 4. Let me turn you a little. There we go. You guys are like, I cannot see what you're doing. Okay. We're gonna pop these in the fridge. They do not need to be in there long, really. You could do this and then melt your chocolate if you wanted to. So I'm just gonna pop these right into the fridge. Give my hands a little wipe here. Okay. So while those are setting, what we're gonna do with our chocolate is something kind of special. And then we are also gonna talk about something that's really important when it comes to your nighttime routine, and that is what supplements you're using. Now, currently being pregnant, I'm of course taking a prenatal vitamin, and I like to take that at night. But another part of your nighttime routine is not just having some healthy snacks on hand for those nights that you're gonna want them, but also incorporating something like our Renew, which is a 100% natural sleep support supplement that is designed to help us fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and get all of those beautiful things that happen naturally overnight in our body to take place. So a lot of us forget that at night is when our body does all of that natural cleaning, detoxifying, cell renewal, all of the housekeeping in our body happens at night. Rest and digest. That's when our body is doing that. So make sure you take a look at that at the link in my bio, because Renew has made such a big difference for so many women in our community, and allows us to eat treats like this without feeling too guilty. Okay, so we have our beautiful, glossy, perfect, melted chocolate. Whew. If you're not a coconut gal, like I said, you could melt just a little bit of chocolate. So rather than melting the whole, like a bunch like we did, just melt a little bit, dunk your strawberry in that, and honey. I mean, this is something that I used to do when I really had a chocolate craving at night. It's just melt a teeny bit of chocolate, get some fruit. This is making my mouth absolutely water. I see somebody here, because we're filming this live, saying, I need that and your amino H2O. I'm back at work and I can't sleep at night. Yeah. I mean, my mom really loves Renew, because when she's busy, she finds her brain is like really going and it's so hard to shut off. But when she takes Renew, she feels like she can just fall asleep and stay asleep. And amino H2O, which if you're not familiar with, is our branched chain amino acid that I created with the help of some amazing supplement formulators and nutritionists in the US. That is a great sweet treat that you could have in the evening as well. And I do have that linked around this video or in my bio. Now, You can see I just stole some of our chocolate that we're gonna be using for our Mountie or Bounty bars, and then boom. Can you use any other berries if you don't have these options? Sure, you could dunk any berry or fruit in that chocolate. I mean, apples, bananas, oranges, watermelon, cantaloupe, berries, whatever you have is perfect. Perfect little midnight snack. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry to be dramatic, but especially in the morning, that hits different in the morning. So for our snacks so far, we've got tea with a cookie, some beautiful sparkling water with some jazz it up so it tastes better. Ooh, pineapple and chocolate, that sounds good. Chocolate and berries or fruit, any fruit that you have. And now we're gonna finish off our Bounty bars. Let me grab these from the fridge. So they've cooled down a little bit. Oh yeah, and they're already much, much harder. All we're gonna do is pop it in the chocolate. Can you see them? Make sure that it gets fully covered. And I just wanna grab a fork. I like a fork because you can kind of like pull it out and let it, oop, did I miss a spot? No, I think we're good. Let the chocolate come off, and then you've got your chocolate covered Bounty bar. Or if you're in the States, another word for Bounty bar is Almond Joy. It's like an Almond Joy, but a much healthier, homemade, low sugar version. And when you have one of these, it's just so satisfying and delicious. And I find when you already have it portioned out like this, if you think about how big a chocolate bar is, it's like 3 times the size of this, right? But if you just have one of these at night, it's not gonna completely derail your efforts and what you're working so hard at. And I keep these in the fridge for up to a week if you can make them last. My husband likes them really cold, so he likes when I keep some in the freezer for him. He always likes, even with energy balls and stuff like that, his favorite is when they're really, really cold. So you could also try that. And all we've done is coated our Bounty bars in the chocolate. And then these are gonna go back into the fridge and will be fully set in 15 minutes. Ta-da! And they are done. Then they get nice and hard, and come back and check out my stories and I'll show you when they're set, how beautiful and crisp the chocolate is, and then the soft, delicious coconut on the inside. Amazing, amazing treat. So I will have the recipe and everything laid out in the text around this video for you. I think you are absolutely going to love these recipes. And if you're somebody who's working to get into great shape, whether it be for summer, for yourself, when we're coming out of, hopefully, if depending on where you're at, if you're in quarantine like we are, in more of a lockdown situation, we want to feel good when we come out, right? We want to feel positive and confident and sexy in our own skin, and having healthy treats that you can have at any time of day, but especially when those midnight cravings hit, can make all the difference to make sure we're not depriving ourselves, completely derailing ourselves, and then, going. And one of you said, can you pop an almond on top? And I actually thought about this, but I didn't have a full almond. I only had sliced almonds. You could totally put an almond on top of your coconut and then dip it, and it would be like a mini Almond Joy. Oh my gosh, it's so good. You guys are gonna absolutely love this recipe. If you make it, make sure you tag me so you can see it. And then remember, every Saturday we're joining up. We're meeting here in my kitchen for new recipes, new tips, all about eating as healthy as we possibly can and helping to support our efforts, our workouts, because of course it goes hand in hand. It's a whole lifestyle, right? And ideally we're not just working out and then still eating the same. Ideally, we're taking care of ourselves in so many different ways. And that might mean including a little chocolate. That might mean including a little wine. But watching our portions is gonna make all the difference, and having a plan for when those cravings come up is gonna make such a big difference. So if you're a sweet tooth lover, make sure you check out this recipe and also amino H2O, okay? I hope you're having a great, great weekend, and we'll see you again next Saturday for Healthy Bites. I wish I had like I need some sort of theme song. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon. Big hugs. Mwah. Bye-bye.